And we're live.
Yo, what's good? We need to work on that music intro.
Yeah, we could set something up in the background.
I've got something. I'm just way too scatterbrained. So I appreciate you doing this on a Saturday morning, Tony.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, this is the second of many, so it's good that we're developing the consistent cadence of doing these. Definitely creates the pressure, right? that we need
Pressure
to
on
push
who?
on all of us, right? To push this thing forward, right? To have
Uh,
those consistent building blocks for this entire thing.
well, I don't want you to feel any pressure. I
It's good.
think that this whole
It's healthy, healthy
it's
amount,
healthy pressure.
healthy
That's
pressure.
the Mamba mentality we got going on. Or I guess that's the Jalen Brunson mentality we got going on these days.
Yo, I've been just like watching NBA clips for the past 2 weeks. I don't know what it is, but the fever in me right now is peak.
I mean, it's got to be feel pretty good to be living in New York right now, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's just vibes on a thousand.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a while. All right, I
Well,
think
as long as the Yankees don't catch any of that momentum, I'm down. I'm down for the New York Renaissance.
some hatred to the Yankees.
Sans the evil empire.
Okay, okay. We'll take it for today. It's all right.
All right. Yeah. Enough.
Um,
Enough. Enough sports rants. I defer to the builder in the building.
yeah, let's get this going. So, just as we're starting these video series, I still think it's useful to have our standard intros. Maybe not go so in depth behind what Build City and Near Legion does, but just to give a quick recap for anyone who's new or anyone who's tuning in for the first time. Um, my name is Tony. I'm the founder of Build City. We're essentially a community of builders, creators, and a community that brings together people with ideas and passion. We're based here in New York City, um, but we also have a international reach. We have reach in India and other places as well, and we have a partnership with Near Legion, of which Rhyme is one of the core contributors, core people who represent Near, and we're working together to create a series of nodes across the world. Uh, the second of which is here in New York City, and our goal with these are basically to bring people into our communities, have them share their ideas, and give them the building blocks and tools to execute on those ideas in a meaningful, consistent, and reasonable way. Um, some of these virtual sessions, they tend to be somewhat unstructured. There are going to be times when they're a little more structured. This one will be a good blend of both. It'll be a casual conversation, and we'll also dive into a bit of how to set yourself up um, for how to set yourself up locally to interact with Ironclaw and Near's cloud AI stack. Um, in future sessions, we'll talk about idea building, and maybe we'll go into the specifics of showing actual tools that have been built out. Um, yeah, so we can definitely start diving in. I saw Nuv hopped in the chat. How's it going, Nuv?
Hey, hey, happy Saturday. I've been waiting in the backstage for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah, Ryan, you muted.
Okay, all good, all good, all good. Yeah, yeah, good, good. Let's
Hold
continue.
on. Hold on. That has not been in the back for 10 minutes. We're getting very loose with time right now.
Yeah, let's go, let's go.
I'm uncomfortable with the passage of time.
Yep. How have you been, Prime?
Doing all right. Just the daily grind and the daily day to day, I guess. I guess it's one of the less outwardly exciting periods. Like I'm very excited about things that we're working on. But I'd say the day to day is fairly mundane in that creative and just like execution process. But really excited about the way that the nodes are coming together, and a lot of the different regions that have stepped up. There's been a lot of things that have really surprised me and impressed me with how well that things have manifested just this quickly. Obviously, you guys are one of the standouts, being one of the first nodes and running these workshops, and really just being a support and a resource for other builders and people that are interested in getting into this space and getting further along than they would be without you guys. So, grateful to have you guys on board and running these spaces weekly. And there's much for me to learn as everybody else. So I'm trying to catch up to you guys.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think kudos to you as well that bringing whole things together, and we are just one cog in the wheel. So happy to do whatever we can. So yeah, Tony, keep continuing. I don't want to interrupt, but
No worries. Yeah, I mean, we've had definitely some fun conversations this past week. So excited to see some things materialize. Keeping it a bit hush hush for now, but definitely some good developments from our end. Um, so okay, I don't have an exact agenda, uh, but there are some interesting things that we could do today. Um, so you shared a Notion recently, and it was really well done. I don't know exactly who did it. Uh, Probably, I'm assuming, comes
That was a
from.
Biraj.
Abhiraj Shindeti.
Yeah. Nov, are you familiar with them?
Yeah, I am. So me and Abhiraj did the event in Bangalore.
Oh, very cool, very cool. That's an interesting story. Maybe for another day. Um,
Yeah, we'll bring Abhiraj in the maybe upcoming live. Yeah,
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 he has very interesting things to share, I'm sure.
yeah. I know it's a bit on the later side for India, so we could maybe make this an hour earlier for him and see if that works better. But I'm gonna share my screen, and we could go through the Notion a bit. Maybe talk about why Docker images are the best way to set people up.
for
Um,
me, you might want to dumb down exactly what Docker images are. I'm starting on a baseline of local installed agents versus cloud stored
li-
agents.
yeah, listen, I've heard Docker images multiple times, and I still have to ask ChatGPT why. Right? And it's simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but um, you need multiple touch points with these things. How can I share my screen? Share screen.
Should have access to be able to share.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just making sure that I choose the right things. Uh, okay, we can start like this.
There's a full ban button in here. You can just straight up ban people from the studio. Sorry, I'm pressing buttons.
Don't ban me.
No, it just popped up all red. Just like, oh, I didn't know that was an option.
All right. So I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if it's brought up yet.
It is not. Sharing the correct one. Hmm. Nada. I can't find anything. Still having trouble? Oh, fuck! It's my fault.
Yeah, I think you have to bring it on screen every time, right?
Every fucking time. I'm over here looking for. Never mind. Go ahead. Proceed.
We might have to do that a few times because I'm sharing a specific tab with this one.
That's fine. I'm on it now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so a bit of context. This was shared in one of our local Telegram channels a couple of days ago. It's from this person named Raj, and he's one of the representatives
Biraj.
of Abiraj, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the representatives from Near Legion's India chapters. So it was really well written, super easy for, I feel, almost anybody to dive into. And of course, if there's anything here that confuses you, you could always use some LLM. I'm basic, so I like to use ChatGPT, but you could always just use Ironclaw or anything else that you're comfortable with. I always feel like it's good to consult with multiple LLMs when you're doing anything in a reasonable fashion. But let's just go through this guide quickly, and then we're gonna take a stab at doing this live, right? So,
explain what the guide is first, like before like getting into a Docker, right? Because I guess I was under the impression this is a document that helps you install agents locally, natively on your hardware.
Yeah, so generally that is the sense. The reason why you would go down like this specific path versus going through the docs and running it locally yourself with the guidelines that are there is that you're basically having to download it with the specific machine that you have, right? So if I have a Mac, someone else has a Windows, another person has another type of configuration for their computer, you're introducing the chance of multiple different bugs that can happen for these specific systems, right? So let's say if you're running a live session like this one, or if you have in-person workshops and you're telling everybody to go through these docs, you might end up with a case where we have to go around and help debug 20 different machines that might be missing like different things, right? And that creates a lot of unnecessary confusion and makes it difficult for us to debug things. With the Docker image, you basically have this like mini machine, this mini computer that is able to run things consistently every single time, right? So if there is issues, it's going to be universal across the same machine, and it can be debugged relatively easily. And the idea is that if you're running this, it's going to be the same every single time, or nearly every single time. That's the idea across whatever your machine is. So that's why this thing is valuable, and shout out to Abiraj for creating it. This makes things a lot easier, right? This makes the chances of us running into issues during these sessions significantly less. And if it's the case that we do run into issues, we can fix it on the fly.
Does this answer your question, Ryan?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So
think of this as a container where you're running your commands and you're running everything that we run on the Near AI cloud. So what we are bringing here is the API keys, right? So the inference we are still using from whoever is the LLM provider. So we have to have those API keys to connect to whichever LLM that. Let's say currently we are using Near AI. Then Near AI has its own API keys that we will be using, and then we that container is everything is deployed locally. But the only thing is where the request goes to LLM, the cloud for inference. If I ask something like, okay, I'm looking for restaurant reservation for 9 a.m. Tell me which one is open, right? So then it will go and go through our API keys. It will go to the Near AI cloud for inferencing and get us the data. Whatever that it does in the background, it calls the tool, it calls the web search, everything happens, but it's just a, you can think of the, like a API request, and then you get the data, but everything that the communication is happening through the API keys. Everything is running on your local.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
we'll
Nal,
dive
for
into it. We will maybe we'll do working session next time to show live that how it is being done and what is the significance, and also what are the advantages of having things on local versus on cloud.
yeah. I think we could definitely take a stab at it today too, live. Um, it's going to be bumpy probably, but I think it's worth to give it a shot and show people how it looks, so they have a sense for themselves. But just to go through this guide, um, to start, it says this guide shows how to run Ironclaw from a pre-built Docker image on Mac OS, Windows PowerShell, and then other operating spaces as well. And then he explains what this step preserves. The Docker commands below mount the folder to your laptop. This keeps your setup after the container stops, including the Ironclaw database configuration, Telegram bot/channel configuration, Telegram pairing state, local channel files. And then he also goes into what some of the prerequisites are. So to do anything with Docker, you have to install their application. Um, I'm gonna have to share my entire screen here. Uh, let me.
You need the whole window.
Yeah, I'm gonna share the whole window. Stop screen. Share screen. Window. Share. All right, can you bring me up?
Good.
Okay. All right, so one of the prereqs, like I said, it was installing Docker. When you click this link, it's going to take you here. I'm not going to download it because I already have it, but you can download it for whatever your machine is. If it's Windows, if it's Mac, you have these options. If it's Linux, you have that option as well. Once it's downloaded, just go through the process of installing it, open it up, and keep it running. And then you want to make sure you have a Near Cloud account, and you want to grab your API key from there. I'm going to do something that some people are not going to like. I'm going to create and share an API key publicly.
Maybe do it in the chat. Maybe drop it in the chat.
It's okay. I'll limit it. I'll limit it to like $1 so that if it gets exposed, it's not a big deal. And I'm going to revoke its permissions anyways after this.
Oh, wait. So this is an API key that you set up?
Yeah, I'm going to set it up live. So I'm going to have to do this one more time. Stop screen. Share screen. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay. Ryan, you there?
I'm here.
That's so weird. It's not showing me you're a nub anymore. That's strange.
Oh, that's because
Okay.
I
Got it.
maximize the window.
Got it. Okay, so once you have Docker downloaded, you also need to make a Near AI account. I've preloaded it with some credits, $5. I think, not to speak out of turn, but we could probably, for specific events, we could probably get some credits available for people to use. But in this case, I just spent $5 and loaded $5 worth of credits. The main thing for you to do at this point is go to the keys section of the drop down on the left, and you want to create a new key. Let me delete this one. Okay, I'm going to create a new key. I'm going to say test key for Saturday workshop. I'm going to leave the limit to $1 since I'm going to expose this. Again, I'm going to revoke this after the live stream. Copy the key, save the key. Okay, going back to the quick start guide. Okay. Okay, so we have our Cloud API key, and now we're going to run through the commands that are available here on the quick start guide. So for Mac OS, I'm going to just put this into my terminal. Okay, that's weird. Put it into my terminal. Okay. Let's go to the second step. We want to create a persistent state folder. I've ran into an issue at step 3. So I'm going to go through how I just prompt ChatGPT or whatever your preferable LLM is to help debug the error that shows up. So I'm going to make a folder right now with the make directory command here. Made the folder. And now we're going to go to step 3. This is where you're going to need the Cloud API key. I'm going to create the key again because I did not save it. But that's okay. And again, just to make sure people are following, you want to do this for whatever laptop, machine, OS that you're using. So again, I have Mac OS, and that's why I'm following this. If you have Windows, you'll follow this. Okay. I'm gonna have to create another key again because I didn't save it the first time. Delete that one. Create a new key. New key for SAT workshop. $1. Create key. Copy the key. We'll go back to the terminal, and you want to replace 4 sections here. So wherever it says your near cloud key here, that's where you want to paste your key. So you'll see it show up 4 times here, and those are the areas where you want to replace the text with your key. I'm going to run this. Last time it ran into an error, so let's see what happens. Yep. So the error is connection pool error, failed to create database directory, permission denied. So this is what I usually do. Let's take a screenshot of this.
I think we are not able to see the screen, Tony.
Oh, are you not?
No,
what
I think Ryan is not here now.
I'm here. Wait, did the whole thing just?
Yeah. Fuck. Let me share my screen again. No, do you know when it started? Did you get most of what I was showing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it just maybe like 10 seconds before it disappeared. The screen.
Okay. No worries. Ryan, whenever you're ready.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No worries. Can you pull me back up?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right. So we ran into an error at step 3 of the Notion document. So what I'm gonna do is just take a screenshot of the error, and I'm gonna feed it to ChatGPT. Oh no. Sorry, 1 second. Okay.
We are not able to see your screen.
Oh, again?
There's nothing to pull up.
I don't know why that keeps happening. Share screen. I'm sharing my screen again.
All right.
Okay.
Should be good.
All right. So I fed the error to ChatGPT. mm, you know what? This is not what I'm looking to do.
What are the eyes of Altman saying?
Sorry, what was? Say that again.
So what are the eyes of Altman saying?
I'm not. I can't hear what you're saying.
Just saying, asking what is ChatGPT saying?
So basically, it's telling me to delete the old Ironclaw volume since I'm running this for a second time. But I don't think that's the issue. Let's see. So I'm gonna run a couple of commands that it has here. No, I don't think that's the issue. I'm gonna feed the entirety of this to it. I know I'm exposing my API key to ChatGPT. Doesn't matter. And revoke permissions. Tell me to revoke the API key. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Let's keep the same key for demo purposes. Just give me the next set of commands to get this going. All right, we're gonna run a few of these. Okay. It should work this time around. I'm gonna use the same API key again. And guys, let me know if you can't see my screen.
Let's see. Can you maximize the screen, please?
You mean the
terminal?
Okay, okay. All right, so I'm replacing the sections that say your same key. Okay. All right, we look good. Let's go back to the Notion. All right.
Tony, what was the issue, and can we document this? Because since people will be using this doc, or we can just say that this faced the issue and this is the resolution of it. We can do that. I think we can also publish that into Ironclaw GitHub.
we'll say this. It works.
We are not able to see your screen now.
Oh my god. Why does this keep happening?
Yeah.
That's okay. I wonder what that is. We'll figure that out in the future. Okay. So since ChatGPT helped me debug it, I'm going to ask it to explain the exact issue simply. Okay, so what it's saying is that the folder ownership was the problem. So it says I originally connected to this Mac folder, home / ironclaw, to this folder inside of Docker. It says ironclaw needed to create its database inside that folder, but the ironclaw user inside the container did not have the permission to write the Mac mounted folder, so it returned permission denied. The fix was to use a Docker managed volume instead. And I'll ask it what that is exactly for the audience. Then we changed that volume's ownership so that the container's ironclaw user could write to it. So simply before Mac folder, wrong permissions, database creation fails. After Docker volume, correct owner, database creation works. So basically a permissions issue here. Explain what Docker volume is like on 5. So basically it says think of a Docker container like a toy robot. The robot can do things, but when you throw the robot away, everything inside of it disappears. A Docker volume is like the robot's backpack.
I don't know what is happening, but we keep this screen thing is keep disappearing.
No worries.
Is it happening when you're switching tabs?
I don't think so. No.
Can you try sharing entire screen, Tony?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Or you're doing entire screen.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, if you're doing entire screen, it should not happen.
Okay. I don't know when it stopped, but I asked it to explain what Docker volume is like on 5, and did it stop again?
Yes. What did you do? Like
Nothing.
Anything from your end? Nothing.
No, I didn't do anything.
Okay.
All right, let me think about this. Maybe I'll share a tab instead.
Sounds like a StreamYard thing.
Yeah, let's see if this will work. All right, I'm just sharing a tab now. Is it up?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so I asked explain what Docker volume is like on 5, and it's saying think of a Docker container like it's a toy robot. The robot can do things, but when you throw the robot away, everything inside it disappears. A Docker volume is like the robot's backpack. So the robot has the Docker container, the backpack is the Docker volume. Ironclaw puts the important things in the backpack, which is the Docker volume. The database, the settings, the conversation, the saved information. So you can delete the container and start a new one, but attach the same backpack. Interesting. So you delete the old container, the backpack stays. You start a new Iron container, you can use the same backpack. and you'll have the same database, the settings, the conversations, and the saved information. So in our command, we had this command, and then this means basically attach the backpack named IronClaw data to IronClaw storage folder. Your original backpack was a folder from your Mac, but IronClaw wasn't allowed to put things inside it. The new Docker volume was a backpack Docker controlled, and we gave IronClaw permission to use it. So basically, the sense is like the original folder was from the Mac, and IronClaw didn't have the permissions to see what was inside of it or put what it needed to put inside of it. So with Docker volume, we were able to create this new folder specifically that Docker controlled, and IronClaw has permissions to use it, and thus why we were able to progress to the next step. I'm going to share a different tab now. Stop screen, share screen again. Quick start guide, share. Okay. All right, so we were able to do step 1. We were able to pull the image. We did step 2. We made the directory, which we had to adjust with ChatGPT. So this is a step that perhaps we can leave a comment about. And then we did step 3. And now we're at step 4. It says if IronClaw shows the setup wizard and asks how it should run on the machine, choose 1. I have to stop sharing my screen again.
This is definitely a StreamYard thing, unless just
I've
missing
had this
something.
problem. I've had this problem before with StreamYard, so I'm not surprised. But we'll figure it out. I have to share my entire screen this time around. Going back to my terminal, we see the IronClaw setup wizard. And according to Notion, we're going to ask it to choose the first option here. So it's going to run the terminal UI, the background tasks, and no Docker sandbox. So we're going to put 1 and enter. All right, this is the IronClaw terminal UI. I hope you guys can see it. You guys can see it?
Nope.
Oh my God, okay. Let me share my screen again. At least the setup is running. It's just the StreamYard.
It is not IronClaw's fault, guys.
IronClaw. As soon as I shared it, it went away. Let's see.
There's not really any alternative.
So can you see the terminal UI?
I can now.
Okay, so this is the terminal UI. This is what it's going to get you to. So I'm going to try to... fuck.
Oh. It really just disappears. Like I'm watching it on I've got it set up on my TV to watch it the live stream, and it just
disappeared. Okay, so we did. We set up the terminal UI is now running. After setup, we can try to message it and say hi. So we're gonna say hi to it. I'm gonna share my entire screen again. Let me know when you guys can see.
be back.
We're back? Okay. So I'm gonna say hi to it. It's thinking. Oh. Still thinking.
Go ahead and pull it back up while it's thinking. It's in deep thought. Needs complete isolation.
It returned a response, so that's good. Let me share my entire screen again.
Speaking of isolation, good plug for trusted execution environments. Completely isolated.
There you go. Are we good?
No.
Okay.
Happening again.
Okay, so I prompted it with hi. Ironclaw responded with, hey, I'm Ironclaw, your personal AI assistant. Think of me as your chief of staff, memory bank, and automation hub rolled into one. I love how it closed out as soon as I finished. All right, we're going to go back to the quick start guide. Okay, cool. So we messaged hi, gave a response, and then, so we know it's hitting the API. That's good. Everything is good so far. Everything's running well. So now we're going to exit according to this notion, we're going to exit the Ironclaw chat. We're going to type this. If needed, press Control-C as a fallback. You can also close the terminal or PowerShell window. Check the Ironclaw local state files. Let me see if we need to do any of this. Okay. We can just speak to it for now. There's a couple of other things we can do in the future. We could set up Telegram, set up a Telegram bot. We could pair our Telegram account to it. Test Telegram persistent. We could do some fun stuff in the future. I just want to make sure that it's a little more fluid from the StreamYard side. So we'll figure that out in the future. But for now, we can just speak to Ironclaw a bit more and just show how fluid the terminal UI is. So let me share my entire screen. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to talk to it. It's saying, what should I call you and what's on your mind? Call me Tony. Tell me what you can, tell me something really simple I can do with you on a live stream.
And give Tony a nickname.
I'm
Sorry, voice is not activated.
Okay, cool. Tony, love it. Here are a few dead
creative.
Yeah,
it's very good. These LLMs are like so empathetic,
right?
Sometimes when you talk to these LLMs, they will tell you very, very nice answer that can calm you down.
Honestly,
Tony, love it.
Feeling down, just talk to Ironclaw.
Yeah.
All right. So it's saying here are a few dead simple, visually satisfying things you can do with me on a live stream.
I'm interested to see that. Give Tony a nickname.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a nickname. Give my nickname a nickname.
No. Give Tony a nickname.
Everything you've
Or
ever
the
known about me.
stage name, so that from now on, like stream name.
Okay, give me a stage name that I'll use for all of my future
Yeah.
live streams.
What is Tony's rap name?
Oh yeah.
Tony.
Now
So
we have
I already
the
know.
rap.
Tony's like, I've thought about this a lot. I don't need the LLM. I've got this.
Circuit.
This is so quick. I love this terminal UI. It's really nice. So it's all right. Let me think about this. You want something that sticks, a name you'll introduce yourself with, put in titles, build a brand around. A few directions: tech plus edge, circuit. No, vertex. No.
You are a electrical engineer.
Yeah, but that's. I've been harassed enough in college to not go with circuit. Vertex, echo, tone cap.
I feel like these are all taken.
Yeah, Zero Cool, Nexus.
Yeah, we can't see now.
Something a little less proprietary, please. We've stolen enough IP.
No. Share. Let me share my screen again.
Maybe you should call yourself as Iron Man.
Tony Iron.
Yeah, because Tony Stark and we are doing Iron Claw, right? So it all makes sense.
Tony Claw. Iron Tony.
Tony the Shield. I think we made someone.
We'll just start calling him the Shield.
Yeah, we can't see your screen, Tony.
Yeah, I'm trying to share. I'm really happy with how well this ran though. This Docker image setup is good, is the go-to for the future for sure. All right, I'm gonna ask it. Make sure you actually include Tony in a creative way. All right. Tone shift. Tone surge. Tone spark. Tone cold. Tone. All right.
Tone cold.
Tone cold. Tone cold. Steve Walsh. Add your add Iron Claw as well. Add Tony and Iron Claw together in a super unique way. Iron Tony, fuck it. Tony Clad, Tony Forged, Pharaoh Tony.
We are giving nicknames, not a Tony plus something.
Tony, you may not live any of these down.
Talent Tony. All right, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Iron Tony. We're gonna go with that for the next one. I might change that though.
I like
Iron Tony.
Let's go.
Tony Clad
I like-
is.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
it's good. Representing the brand.
Tony. I like Tony Iron. If we're gonna go with that one,
Tony Iron. Okay.
I feel like first name.
So Iron Claw, right? So that's why I think he wanted to start from Iron Tony. Iron Claw.
So I think we need a bit of the human input. I'm good with Tony Iron, or Tony Claw works too. Tony Claw.
Tony Claw. Oh.
Nah.
Yeah, then it will become you have to actually create a framework then.
Tony Claw framework. Don't let near here, right?
Because there are Open Claw, Nemo Claw, Zero Claw. Now we
Iron
have to see, yeah, Iron
Tony
Claw, and then we have to see some else.
Tony Claw.
Tony Tensile.
Tony Tesla running on near AI. I love this. It says Claw Tony, gritty, memorable. How?
You can't see your screen though now.
We don't need the LLM to keep this going. I'm about to pull up the thesaurus.
Ryan can give you the stage name.
Yeah, I think.
What name would you give Ryan to Tony? The stage name.
I feel like Tony Iron is the best one we have, but I'm not saying that we can't do better.
Yeah, we can keep
Tony
iterating. Tony Forge.
Yeah, 24 is not bad.
Tony Forge is kind of cool.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Forge. Let's do that.
Forge.
Tony Forge and Iron Claw.
No one's gonna. No one will question it.
Tony Iron or Iron Tony. Tony Forge is, the forging.
It's too off the track.
Yeah.
All right.
Then you have to explain. Like, oh, what is Tony?
Yeah.
Forge?
Why?
No, you don't have to explain. That's the thing. Is no one would question it. It'd just be like a little inside thing.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Forge in Iron Claw. That sounds fire. That sounds tough. Yeah, we'll stick with Tony Forge.
Yeah, probably people will ask Iron Claw, what do you mean by Tony Forge?
Why'd you put this together? All right, I just
That-
wanted to check out a couple of ideas that I came up with. So instead of real-time image generation, generate an image of a cyberpunk cat eating pizza on a throne, and I'll make it right there on stream. There's no way it's going to be able to generate it here in the terminal UI. So we won't do that.
Let's.
Yeah.
I don't know if a cat eating pizza is what we're looking for here.
Yeah. I mean, it'll give us like the data that we could use to create an image. But I doubt it's going to give us the actual image here.
Ask it for something less retarded. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
well,
give me a better idea.
tell me something like build a CLI tool that tells me if I should go outside based on the weather. Fuck it, let's do that.
I think I have a lot of deep thoughts about image generation and the art, and I think there's absolutely a place for it, especially things like recreating memes. I think that's a very like ethical, or I mean, I think firmly in the non-harm gray area. Like that's the whole point of memes. But I am not the biggest fan of like some of the other more liberal use cases of the image generation. So just my own personal thoughts as an artist myself. I think there's a lot to consider there, and also mentioning mention it in the nickname, the human touch, and talk about it a lot in the scope of events and a lot of the other just kind of communications. And I very much believe that is the greatest that you can have, especially as things are becoming more and more automated, is these human experiences and human art. And like I think one of the greatest things about generative art is it gives people the tools to be creative that may not have had them in the way, like in a more natural skill set. And I think that's super cool for people to be able to tap into their creative visions. But I also don't want it to cheapen a real artist's work. And I think that there is a fine line, or maybe it's not that fine at all. Maybe that's the issue. But I think that there is definitely a distinction between like what is well intentioned and hey, this is a tool to help me execute versus like this is almost feeding the lowest common denominator, and it really is taking away a lot of the elements, especially in like marketing that resonate with people. Like
Yeah.
marketing is so powerful because there is that suggestive nature, but that social proof is one of the most important factors when it comes to marketing and building relationships with your audience. And like I'm just not very eager to lead us off the edge, so I'm going to be rooting for artists. I think there's a lot of ways for artists to be able to use the generative art, and professionals that are not uh, native artists. But I guess that's my little soapbox as we were getting into generative AI as our example. It's like
Mm.
I'm not super enthused about that just being the status quo, and that's less about like what we're doing right now. It's just kind of something that brought up those thoughts, and like it's very much a trend that you see, and I'm really just trying to understand how I feel about it in whole, where you're accepting the reality of what is, and there's also, we mentioned the IP battles of intellectual property, and that's not exclusive to artists. That's to anyone building something. I believe OpenAI has been busted before for and Anthropic too, maybe, maybe not. Can't remember. Please don't sue me, any rich people. But but I mean, even there, like training on your data and on your work, and these companies are stealing builders' work and their ideas. And that's why something like Ironclaw and Near AI is so important. But that's also something that we should think about more. And I know that there's a lot of diverse thought about that. I mean, there's diverse thought about anything if you really want to get into the margins. But I really think the people that are advocating for less IP protections or eliminating IP protections in full, I just believe that's wrong for many reasons. So I will step down from that and let you go ahead and continue. But I guess that's my espresso rant and support of artists PSA this morning.
No, it's fair, right? It's like the artist version of how a developer says not to just create like um, bloatware, right? With these like AI tools, right? Like you don't want to just uh, use up resources and create things that nobody is going to use for no reason, and build things in a way where you don't know how it functions, right? Like you haven't taken the time to, if it's human nature to create something quickly, you haven't taken the time to reverse engineer it. And
We lost Tony.
Yeah, I think we lost Tony.
He's in the audience.
Yeah, he's in the audience. I see him.
Anyways,
Yeah.
support real art, support real creators. AI music sucks, but using it for mixing and mastering is cool. And a whole lot of other deeper, more nuanced thoughts.
No, I agree. There's still technicality has to be there, right? That AI can help in certain ways in ideation, refining your process, giving you different tools. But again, your creativity will decide that what exactly will come out of that.
I'm very keen to make sure that there is, well, I mean, there's only so much I'm going to be able to do, but I do hope to be able to lead by example as far as ethical uses of AI and balancing the inevitability that is, and also supporting the evolution of human-made art. And I even noticed Anthropic on their commercials recently, in between some of the games, that their narrative angle, their entire commercial is human is predicated on the human experience, and almost it's almost like a, you know, late 80s, early 90s, like home video, as far as nostalgia, the way that they are, that the way that they were framing it, and just they were really emphasizing that human element, and you can see that's where they're going, and or at least where people are identifying that that is the need. Like AI, you know, if we're going to be able to, you know, push it, it's got to be, you know, with humans at the forefront. And if humans are not at the forefront, you know, we lose control of, you know,
Yeah.
everything, I guess. But Ironclaw fixes this.
You know, Nub and I met somebody recently that I thought had a fascinating perspective, and part of this was Nubs. Both of them kind of prompted each other. Um, it's a unique perspective, right? Because it's just human nature. If you're given these tools, like AI kind of makes you feel like you can create anything, right? So your initial thought might not be like, oh, let me kind of break down how I'm going to create this, how it's created, necessarily even like the intention behind it, right? Whether you're creating art or you're creating an application. But what you could do in both cases is that you could create it and then you could reverse engineer it, right? And that was his perspective, was how to teach people to reverse engineer the things that they create. So if you're talking about like an image that you'll create, right? Maybe you just give it a prompt and you create an image, and the artist community will say, hey, like that's not real art, right? You just fed it like a one line. It didn't come from the heart at all, right? There's no intention behind it. Well, does that change if the person takes the time to understand like how that image is created, how they can adjust that image? If it's digital, like can they do things in the background to adjust it to something that more better aligns with the vision that they have in their minds? So then I think it starts shifting away from like solely just relying on the AI to create things in a way that we don't understand. And it also supports the natural human desire to create first, right? Like if you're if you're creating and then going through the normal process of understanding it throughout the process of creating it, like some people will do that, but that's probably not going to scale because it's not the way humans function, right? The human mind wants to do things in the most energy efficient ways possible. So you're going to start with just throwing out that prompt to create whatever you want to create. But if you could teach people to go back and add that intentionality of either coding what you need to code in a certain way to get exactly what you want for an application, or adjusting that piece of art so it shows that it comes from like your creative spark, then you end up using AI in a way that blends its capabilities, but also still relies on your creative sense and your own creative and actual capabilities that people have. So create a reverse engineer. I think that's going to be the next phase of Build City.
So I do feel what you are saying about that. I think I do disagree with. I don't believe people care about the process. Like, unless you're art. If we're talking about um art, but I think you even have the inverse too. Like if you have an artist if you're looking at code from an artist lens, or if you're looking at art from a coder's or just a non-artist lens, uh,
Hmm.
I think you kind of have those same uh, ideals, and you're really more interested in the results than you are the process. Like I don't expect the people that are like that are making all this, like, you know now for the first time in their lives, like making art, and I would more or less call it the AI slop. And not to say that they won't get better or more useful, or like the bar won't get lower. I'd like to think it gets higher, but I don't think that those people will ever care like about that process. in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, the same way that I won't ever care about like old school coding methods. Like I care that there are tools available, to me that might help me be able to get from point A to point B quicker. But I also kind of like, since I do view things through an artist lens and in most things, I there's a lot of like deference and appreciation to the people that are operating on their specific medium. So like, I really do respect, people that are coders or even like prolific songwriters. I don't put myself on the same level of those people, as an artist that I, know just operate on a completely different plane. Like, what I do is great for me, but I really respect the artist in the medium, whatever that medium and whatever that art is to that person. And I do think that lacks quite a bit. And I'm not trying to change anyone's minds about that, but it is how I like to look at things, and I think it keeps me humble and also not feeling like I know everything, because I think now you have people now that they can spin up some AI images, feel like they are artists. And I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. But I think there is a degree of like hubris and like, okay, like now we're just eliminating, this group of people, we're eliminating the bottlenecks now. And I don't think that's necessarily in our best interest, because I believe most of culture is downstream of like art itself, whether that's movies, whether that's music, whether that's, fashion, all of these things really shape how we, view the world in any zeitgeist. And, I think that the more we take the humans away from it and the people that really do appreciate that process and that craftsmanship of what they are working on, I think we lose a lot of the magic in the world.
Yeah. Well. Let me propose this to you, and I think it honestly builds on what you're saying. I think when you generate AI art, people can sense that many times they can sense that this is AI generated art. I think there's like a soul behind real art, and you can tell what's real and what's not for the most part, especially from the artist's perspective. I think oftentimes they're able to call things out. I think what I'm proposing is not that you understand how like a piece of art is done from the coding perspective necessarily. What I'm proposing is that if an artist is going to use AI, the only way that it's going to really feel like a real piece of art is that, like, let's say if you did create it through prompting, that you actually go back and you understand how it relates to what your vision is, right? And that's the reverse engineering for an artist, right? Is to say like, okay, this was created by AI from my initial prompt, so I went from 0 to 1, but now I need to add my actual like creative vision, like my human element to it, right? So as an artist, maybe that means like, oh, you're gonna take that image and you're gonna paint it out in your own specific ways. Even if you were to paint the exact image, right? Like it would change based off of the way that you're gonna paint it through your human capability, your human element. If you're a digital artist, right? Like you'll go back and you'll change certain things, right? Like of that image that's generated. So in that sense, like it goes from just creating like slop, right, to something that's more authentic. And I know most people are not going to do that, right? But what I'm proposing is like the things that actually end up benefiting from these AI tools are going to be the ones that are actually reverse engineered, are the things that people go back to, and they'll take what AI creates and add their own flavors. Then you'll say, hey, like you'll feel like this was created by somebody, right? We get that sense even if you're writing something with AI and you go back and you edit it and you work with AI to make it sound more like yourself and you add your own actual text, like oftentimes you won't even know an AI has written it, right? And if it is written by AI, you still sense the human element. You said, oh, like I can feel this person worked with the AI, right, to create something. And with applications, right, like you can create an MVP, right, with just prompting, right? But for you to scale something and for you to get the genuine benefit of this, like you're gonna have to go back and see how that thing was functioning. And it helps if somebody can teach what it is and how to break it down in a way that's digestible, both for somebody who does have the engineering experience and for definitely for people who don't. Right? So you create this like path of like, okay, we'll allow for the natural human desire to do things, right, when you have them available for you so easily, but then also create the structure of creating something that's genuine and something that can continue to be built on and something that you completely understand and you have your heart and mind in. I think that's the sense, and I don't really think I'm saying something different than you are, to be honest.
Oh, I don't think so. I think I just took you off your productive agent building
Don't
to go on my artist tangent.
don't worry about that.
Had to plant the flag for the homies and also just restate my disgust with AI music.
No, I this is something I've been thinking about ever since I had that conversation with Nov and a potentially new friend of ours. But I'm gonna just wrap this conversation up that I'm
Yeah,
having with.
I have something to share also
Sure.
quickly, and we have someone in the audience. We just want to uh, see that if you are comfortable, just unmuting yourself and just sharing who you are, what you do. If you are comfortable typing in the chat, that's also good. Would love to see and love to hear.
Antitello.
Antitello.
So
It's, I think they're just happy to be a fly on the wall. So
Okay.
happy to have them chilling.
Yeah, all good, great. Yeah, I think this very simple thing which I was just want to show for maybe 2 to 5 minutes,
sure.
and this has some context. So AI is we all talk about that, how AI is able to give the answer that we look for, right? And if we provide the context, then it becomes much more. I would say, wait, what is going on? Share a screen. Share screen. Okay, sorry guys, just a minute. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Not yet. It's loading. All right, we're good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So let's go here. Yeah, since it's you see it now.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So since what I was saying is AI is able to give answers which is more relevant, right? When we provide more context to it. So if the AI has more context, when Tony you were asking that, oh, give me the stage name, right? So and then it asked you that, okay, tell me a little bit more brief about yourself. Then I will be much more equipped to suggest something. So the more you give context, it will be able to understand that your personality and give you the relevant answers based on that. So I was looking at the Iron Claw document, and sometimes when Tony you were sharing that, let's ask to ChatGPT, right? Definitely, ChatGPT has all the information. It does it can go and crawl entire web if it doesn't have the context. But if we provide the better document, better material to all these LLM tools, then it gives us relevant answers that it may not get from by its own. So this is the quick uh, thing that is we can see it here. So docs.ironclaw.com.quick start. So once you come here, the copy page, you will see multiple things here. copy page, copy view as a markdown, open in ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, MCP server, connect to Cursor, connect to VS Code. So you can directly do all these actions directly from here. So let's say if I want to learn more and have it, currently this is not interactive, right? It is not in the form of where I can ask that what is Iron Claw and go to ChatGPT. But when ChatGPT will have more context of Iron Claw, it will be able to give me more relevant answers. So let's do this, right? So I want to open this into ChatGPT. So now you see that it is already embedding this web search tool, which is
Yeah.
putting entire information from this particular URL. So basically, it is becoming a more of a RAG system, where you provide your document whichever you are working on, and then it gives you that functionality where you can search through the document, and you will have more relevancy and more better context to it. So if I just say this now, this becomes this becomes my Iron Claw conversational agent, right? I can ask anything related to whatever was on the doc. I can ask each and everything about the Iron Claw installation, what Iron Claw can do, and what all different things are available for the Iron Claw. Right? So instead from starting from the installation to deployment, anything and everything can happen, and it has the better context because you directly gave this web search tool and this URL, so that it creates that relevancy and the context related to it. So just I think I found it interesting. I think this will be very useful when in not just respect to this. I think it can help with any of the document that you are working, or any website or any URL that you're looking. You just load that into the context, so that it will have better relevancy of your answers that you're looking for. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I think
this is, huh?
no, this is definitely a great poll. I noticed this about the docs. I think that's really nice that they built that in, so it's easy for you to just copy it and give it to LLM easily.
Yeah, it helps when you, let's say, when you are working on mm, on writing a code on top of it, right? So what you
Yeah,
need to do, you just need to go and connect this to your VS Code, or if you're working on Cursor, connect to your Cursor, and it has entire context that what kind of code that I have to write based on the documentation. Because
yeah,
the for the developer, the only source of truth is the doc, right? That whatever that is written into the documentation, that is how we operate. So documentation becomes the very important part of any of the software. It's like a manual, right? That you have to operate anything, you have to read the manual. So this is more of a manual, and then when you want to create an agent, then you can say, okay, follow this manual, and this is what I'm gonna do, and suggest me that what is the best way of doing it. Yeah, I think we this is very simple and could be useful when people will be understanding more. We'll come up with some more ideas on this, and how structurally uh, people can do and create things going forward.
yeah, for sure. I did want to share one thing from the terminal UI, but I don't want to keep dragging this on. I think we're good with time for now. We've done almost an hour and a half. But some things that we could create, for example, maybe for next time. Um, so in New York, we've been getting affected by the Canadian wildfires. So one thing that I was thinking about prompting the terminal UI with, prompting Ironclaw with, was to basically create a tool that would let me know when it's safe for me to go outside based off of my own relative health conditions, right? So if I have asthma or other conditions, it can tell me that the AQI is too high, and that I shouldn't go at a particular time based off of the data that it does have, right? And maybe it knows that in a future time period, the AQI will be low enough for me to comfortably be outside, and then it can maybe even give a range of like how you'll feel, right, in a particular AQI conditions. So maybe at 150, you're gonna have difficulty breathing. At 80, you might just be mildly uncomfortable. 50, you'll be okay, and then anything below that, you can even do strenuous activity. You could do a jog. You could carry heavy objects, things of that nature. And maybe even it could even potentially have like a alert notifications, right? So my niece, for example, struggles with asthma. She could use it to kind of modulate her behavior so that she doesn't end up in a condition or in a she doesn't end up being outside when the AQI is too high, and potentially create a circumstance that's not ideal for her.
Yeah, I
No,
think
but I saw you.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is important, right? That this is where these tool can help you to just be a little bit more proactive on your on day-to-day life. Right? That sometimes this kind of situation arises, and if we have some kind of notification, which will definitely going to help. And I have seen that. Yes, I think day before yesterday was very difficult to walk. I went to office, and then when I was coming back, and in the office, and we all had this masks everywhere. So I think this is definitely will be useful. And I think this is kind of the smaller ideas that we can build and gain confidence, and then keep iterative, and see that what actually can help us, and eventually going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we'll try to build something live next time. We might do the AQI and potentially even see if we could connect it with the front end. Let's see.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think we can come to an end now, and we'll see you next week.
Health City building live next week. You heard it.
Yep.
This was a excellent live stream. Shout out to Ryan for hosting this, and thank you for everyone who joined. I think the AQI is a bit high here, so my voice is getting lost. But we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace, y'all.
Yep. Let's have some music.